Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. More like The Quest for Shit. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the fourth film in the Superman franchise starring Christopher Reeve. And I'm going to tell you what I thought about it. It's not going to be good, I'll say that much. First of all, we have the cast back. Christopher Reeve returns as Superman, Clark Kent. Margaret Kidder returns as Lois Lane. Mark McClure returns as Jimmy Olsen. And Jackie Cooper returns as Perry White. And we also got Gene Hackman back as Lex Luthor. That's right, after a one movie absence, we got Lex Luthor back in this movie. So that's pretty cool, right? First of all, I am going to say that I feel that Christopher Reeve he always does his best, I think, when he's in these Superman films, and he embodies everything that Superman should be. Something interesting to note is that Christopher Reeve had also written this film. So, because he made a promise that if he did this film, he would need Warner Brothers to help finance his other film, the one with Morgan Freeman, who the movie's escaping me right now, but that's what happened. So that's why he agreed to do this film. And unfortunately, just because he wrote it doesn't mean the movie was good. Now, to be fair, I think that the film had good intentions in its material, but I feel that it just wasn't executed right. And unfortunately, everyone went down with the ship. As for all the other actors, I feel that a lot of them really feel like they don't want to be in this movie. I had even read that Margaret Kidder and Christopher Reeve didn't get along in this movie because apparently Christopher Reeve's ego was a little bit big behind the scenes with this one because he helped write the story. And I don't know how much of that is true, so take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, it could factor into what had happened. I don't know. I did feel that Gene Hackman felt like he was happy to be back again. I felt like he was really back into that character again. It was maybe him and Christopher Reeve were probably the only two actors that you can feel their energy while they're on screen. But other than that, yeah, all the other actors were really, even some of the new actors were really missed for me. Especially John Cryer. You might remember him from 2.5 Men. To me, he's so out of place in this movie. I'm like, oh my god, this is why I hate movies from the 80s. Because of characters like this. So, I mean, other than that though, that's all I can say about the acting. We also get Nuclear Man, who is this Superman clone-ish kind of thing. They do get Superman's hair sample from a museum to create Nuclear Man, but they mix him up with I guess nuclear bombs or something and send chemicals or whatever, and they send it to the sun, and that's how Nuclear Man is created. And his weakness, get this, his weakness is you have to block out the light. Once there's no light in the room, that's it. He's down, no energy, because he needs the sun or light to, give him that energy. So yeah, it's a really bad villain. Like a very bad interpretation of Bizarro. And guess what? The actor who's playing Nuclear Man can't even use his own voice. He has to be dubbed by Gene Hackman because I guess his voice wasn't intimidating enough. So they thought, let Gene take care of it. He has an intimidating voice, doesn't he? You know that a movie is also embarrassing when the film can't even get the special effects right. This movie came out 10 years after the original film from 1978, and the special effects for this film look horrible. As far as I know, special effects as the years go by are supposed to get better and better and better. Well, with this movie, somehow it declined badly. This looks like a movie that could have came from the 30s or 40s. That's how bad the special effects look. Like, ouch, man, ouch. I also gotta point out that the editing and the pacing in this movie is way off. It's so bad, I'm telling you. It feels like there's a lot of scenes missing in this movie, and wow, does it hurt the film. And I checked those deleted scenes out, and I don't even know how the hell those deleted scenes are supposed to fit in this movie, because they are just maybe even worse than the actual movie. I don't even know what I'm happy about, that those deleted scenes were deleted or that the movie was still made to begin with. That's how bad I think this Superman movie is. To be fair, I think this movie can be enjoyable in some ways if you're really drunk or really high. Yeah, I think that's the only way you can really enjoy this movie. Like, some of the scenes are so bad that you actually, there's a scene where Nuclear Man, it's towards the end of the film, and he's going up through this building, and what happens is you can tell it's a doll being dragged up through the ceiling, and then I think they even repeat the shot so many times. That's how noticeable bad this movie is. Let that sink in. This is the type of movie where you have to see to believe it. It's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of like the new Fantastic Four movie, where the new Fantastic Four movie, even though it started good in the beginning, it kind of loses itself and is a big mess towards the end. Now think of that last part of Fantastic Four, but throughout the entire film. That's Superman 4. Maybe worse. This is a movie that I'm going to admit, I actually enjoyed this movie when I was a kid. Because let's face it, when you're a kid, I don't think you pay attention to quality that much. When it comes to films, there's a lot of films, if we really go back through our childhood, like, I'm not going to name any because I don't want to make anybody angry, but this is one of those films where when I watched it when I got older, I tried to figure out what kind of crack my parents had me on. That's how bad this movie is. So that being said, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. Why 3? Because I think there's enjoyment to be had if you, like I said, if you're high or drunk. Also, I think there are bits and moments that are not well done, but like, I can see how people might find enjoyment from this movie. It is a Superman movie that gave us more action than Superman 3, which many people could probably find boring. But I did enjoy the story a little bit more in Superman 3, and the movie was better put together than this film. So, but I wouldn't say this is one of the worst movies put together, but I can find very few redeemable qualities compared to some of my worst movies of all time. But that's barely saying anything. Believe me, this is a bad movie through and through, and I'm going to leave it at that. So, I don't know, guys. If you want to check out Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, have fun with it. That's what I'm going to say. Get a group of friends. This is like The Room. This is the Room of superhero films. Get a group of friends. Have a good time. That's all I'm going to say. But for the most part, it is a very skippable movie. You don't have to check it out. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave that here. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because you know me. I talk about a lot of movies, including superhero movies. I love superhero movies. That's why I'm doing even the worst of Batman and Superman this next couple of videos. So, like this video, and even follow me on Twitter if you want. I'll have that information in the description box below. And with that being said, take care.